name's David Buchanan. I'm the football coach at Mason County High School in Maysville, Kentucky, and we're going to talk about our open punt. And the reason that we went to our open punt is early on in building our program, especially in the early stages, there were several games. It seemed like almost one game a year that we would lose because we had a punt blocked or because we had a punt return for a touchdown. And of course, we didn't want that to continue. We wanted to be able to put an end to that. And so early on, probably our third or fourth season, we were at a clinic and we heard the staff speak from Sevierville, Tennessee, and they just won a state championship there. And this is where we got the open punt. We got them from the staff at Sevierville. We got their video, and their coaches really were very helpful and did a great job. And we brought that back to Mason County. It made a big difference. And since that time, we have not had a punt returned for a touchdown. That's probably been 7 or 8 years. As far as getting a block, for the most part, we haven't had a clean block. We've had people get a piece of them here and there, probably more so because I was being greedy instead of any type of other problem. But it's really made a big difference for us, and it's made us a lot better. When we put this in, my coaches knew that I was a hard sell, and our special teams coach, Mike Stanley, before we left that clinic, Coach Stanley made me make a commitment that we're going to put this in and we're going to stick with it. And Mike Stanley worked really hard to get this in and get it going. Our special teams coach, Seth Faulkner, has continued to do so. And we've really, we've made this a weapon, and it's made our football program, it's made our football team much, much better. And what it's done is in the big games, when you play a really good opponent, we feel like at a minimum, we're even with them on the punt instead of them having an advantage, and that's made a big difference for us. So this should be something that will turn your punt team from maybe a potential liability into an offensive weapon that can help you win a big football game. Early on, even though we were going to go to this open punt scheme, we knew that it was going to be more than just having a quality scheme, that we still, just like in every other part of our program, we needed to be fundamentally sound. And we, Coach Stanley and myself, Coach Mike Stanley and myself, we sought out Coach Mark Nelson, who was in at the University of Kentucky, who's now at the University of Louisville. And Coach Nelson's one of the finest special teams coaches in the country. And Coach Nelson really did a good job in helping us fit our fundamentals to what we were going to do. And we spend a lot of time on fundamental work and making sure that our punt protection is good. In our program, I don't think there's anything that's more important to us than punt protection, and we invest a lot of time and effort into it. And our base fundamental protection that we'll use, what we'll say is we'll have the protector, he's going to have his inside foot up, he's going to be square, he'll have a good base, and his split is probably about 2 feet from the person next to him. We feel like 2 feet is an optimal split in that it's tight enough that there's not a big hole to run through, but it's wide enough that it doesn't give our opponent an edge, if we do decide to come in and get tight. We tell our guys to have a big chest in their stance, but to be able to grab grass, to get low so that they can have good leverage and they can protect. They're going to backpedal, and it's a lot like pass protection, in that we want them to stay square. We don't want them to turn their shoulders and open up a lane inside or outside that would allow someone to come through a block. Now, in practice time, once we get in season, and we'll do this a lot during the preseason and during spring practice,